Welcome everybody to another weekly statistical review. This is where on a Friday afternoon we do a review of how we've done in terms of our trading results. These results are directly linked to the signals that were sent out to people. So these are the physical live trades taken. Every one of them has been logged. And today's been a tough week, guys. So I'll run through the figures. First of all, we are on the free Forex Education website. We could click on latest trades, and this shows all of the trades and the pips since we started. And we simply put on the date. You can see today's Friday. We're going to put it from Monday, which was the 15th, and just scroll down a little bit so that we can fit it all on the page right there. And we can see that there was a total number of trades, 24 trades this week, guys. Very, very busy. That's kind of at the maximum end of the number of trades that I take on a weekly basis, and doesn't happen all the time. So 24 trades, only 8 winners though. I finished -1 pip for the week. And what we also have then is the total losses. We've got 14 here, so a win rate of 41.7%, and it break-even week, 24 trades. But we started the week off great. We started Tuesday morning before 12 o'clock. We were up 130 pips, and I was thinking this is going to be a great week. And unfortunately it never panned out that way. The thing with having a lot of strategies is that usually what happens is you end up with some strategies that do well, some strategies that don't, and they alternate depending on the type of markets that we're in. And what happened was we were 130 pips up, and then because we've done so well over the past month, that last month was a 600 pip month, and we did well last week as well, 220 pips, I think, something like that. Inevitably we were due to give some of those pips back, but this is the good thing about having multiple strategies. We made 130 pips by 12 o'clock on Tuesday, but throughout the week we only gave back our winnings that we earned for that week. So last week was a very good profitable week. I can't quite remember the figure, 220, 260. And this week we hit our drawdown, but we managed to limit our drawdown. So I personally finished just -1 pip, which is a break-even week, and that's something to be proud of. Obviously it isn't great. I would love every week to be a winning week, not just for me, but for everybody that receives the signals as well. But this week has been a bit of a realization, because the last 4 weeks have been so good. We were due to hit a drawdown, but due to good risk management, position sizing, and following the rules and risk to reward, we were able to be out for break even. So I want to just run through, I'm not going to run through all of these trades, just a few of them. We actually hit a patch where we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losing trades in a row. We hit some nice trades here. The pound New Zealand 5 range trend continuation for 31. I think we had an 80 pip winner, that might be on the second page. But a little bit of hard luck. See this break even trade here, this flag pattern. We got the breakout to structure lows. I'll just open this up so that you can see it. We got the breakout to structure lows. Look at this, we picked the exact turning point, 16 pips for 445. We came down to the low, we failed to continue lower, and we were out for break even. Real shame that trade was. What else did we have? Just look at the losses as usual. The losses are smaller than the wins, so just 12 pips there. The win here on the Euro Aussie was for 22. The Euro New Zealand lost for 12. Hard luck on that trade as well. We were all stopped out by just a couple of pips, and then it went on to win. We also had another one of those trades, and it was the pound CAD. Where is it? Where's that pound CAD? Pound CAD Gartley. Okay, it lost for 13 pips. And I'll just bring this up. So this was the trade when we entered it. We entered in a lovely double top, rallying down to targets. It was a structure hold RSI confirmation, and the outcome of the trade. Now I don't think, this was it soon as it lost, but soon after it rallied straight down and hit targets, and we were all stopped out by 2 pips. And I hate trades like that. It is part of trading, but there was 2 trades there where we took a hit for, what was it, 20, how much was that one for? That one was for 13, and the other trade was 12. So we took a loss for 25, but because shortly after they turned around and won, there was a difference there of 68 pips. And this is quite an important point to make, is that if you start seeing too many of those trades where you stopped out by just 1 or 2 pips and there's no valid reason for it, and it keeps happening, well, that's going to have a massive effect on your results. Because if we had our stop a little bit further back in those situations, I'd be telling you now that we're up 67 pips for the week. And sometimes a win is not a trade actually winning, it's actually stopping it from losing. But if it happens time and time again, it's time to reevaluate the situation and understand, is there a problem there? Now, I do this every week, and I've reevaluated this. The Gartley pattern, we had our stop and ATR plus 2 pips behind the double top, plus 2 pips because it was the pound CAD and I had a bigger ATR, plus also it was on the lower time frame, and it was a smaller trade, so I like to have the stop further back. And even with that implemented, we still were stopped out. So I did follow the rules perfectly there. And the other one was the Euro New Zealand, this one that stopped us out for 12 pips. That one was news. It literally came up, spiked us all out, turned around and went on and hit targets. So there's nothing we can do about those situations. But if that happens to you and there is not a legitimate reason, then you need to reevaluate that, because it will make a big difference to your profit and loss. And pound yen here, the last trade was another break-even trade. I'll just show you this one. We got it was a rising channel. We got a valid double bottom down here, and I do talk about this within the educational material, how to spot these, how to get involved with stops, entries and targets. And I was playing for the highs of structure, because typically these rising channels typically don't turn until we get the highs of structure. But what happened was, when we hit the top of structure, and I'll just bring this up, we did what we should have done, and this is structure here, this line. We hit it once, we hit it twice, we failed to have a confirmed break above, close above. It happened at a psychological number, so we implemented risk management and we moved to break even. And it was the right decision, because shortly after the market plummeted and this rising channel played out and hit targets, but we were playing for a higher move. So we were right with the entry, we were correct with the stop, we were a little bit off with the targets, and it can sometimes happen, but we did the correct thing. We implemented risk management when we retested structure, and overall we hit a losing streak here, which was a real shame. But the feedback that we've got throughout the week has been phenomenal. In fact, what I'd like to do is just spend a minute just reading out some of the comments. Now, some of the comments were within the chat and I don't have them. Some of them were email messages that were sent to me. So I'm not going to give out the names of these people, but this is just some of the feedback we've been getting. Just going through more of your training videos, and I have to say they are very well put together and easy to understand. Well done, mate. Some time and thought and effort has gone into them, and they are a work of art. Congratulations. And that isn't the only one. I've had a few emails there talking about the educational material. We kept the educational material down to about 30 minutes so that it's not too much information, but it isn't just telling you, look, here's a strategy, go and test it. It's giving you the specific rules for the strategy, and that can really save you a lot of time when you're doing your back testing, because you know instantly what you're looking for. You're looking for the specific rules we give you, and not for all the hundreds of rules you're thinking of implementing. So Let's have a look. Another one. This was from another person. Chris, just thought I'd send you a thank you. My God, I haven't got half of the strategies in my head compared to the ones that you have. Let me just have a look. I have just made it. You've just made it look a lot easier to trade. My God, that's all I can say. Let me have a look. I used to follow a lad in trading, but I'm just summarising here. I've learnt more with you in the past 2 weeks than I've learned anywhere else. Great job, thank you. Great feedback. And there is, I have had loads of others as well online with the chat saying, you know, they've absolutely loved it. One person said, my drawdown is less at the end of the week than it would have been if I was trading on my own on a Monday. So, but the whole point of the signal service is it's an educational signal service. So we do the videos when we send out the signals the majority of the time, and it talks through the underwriting process and why we're getting involved with the trade. And of course, being in the trade as a community really helps build confidence. And other than this week, you know, this week actually for the past 4 weeks is the only week where we've had it's not really a losing week at -1 pip, is it? It's a break-even week, and I'm quite happy to have a break-even week after 4 winning weeks. The other one I want to read out is a bit of it's a sad story, but I want to read it to you. It's quite long, so bear with me for a few minutes. It was sent to me last week, this. Hi Chris, thank you for the webinar and sharing what you shared with us. I was actually thinking of emailing you, and I did write 2 emails and deleted them. I was hesitant, I guess, from my past experience, but today I felt encouraged. I live in such an area. I came here before 10 years ago, never got a chance to revisit the country and see my family since then, and I'm married and have beautiful twins, so he's here living in the UK now. Trading Forex is my passion. Achieved a little bit of success trading FX, then I decided I am not at that level that will allow putting all my money into the FX market. So I decided to invest all my money in stocks and continue learning Forex with a small amount of money beginning in 2015. I achieved good success in stock market relative to S&P 3 years on raw in the stock market. I think this is where I got greedy. I wanted more money to invest in stocks and decided trading it in a way to get more money. Started trading options, indices, futures, Forex. It went well. At this time I had a plan. That's what I thought. I took the proceeds to buy more stocks until everything exploded in my face in October of 2018, and the market started to melt. I'm losing substantial money every day in the end. I had to face the disaster I have created. I sold my future positions and my FX positions. I had to close and liquidate my stocks at the bottom of the market just to cover my losses. After everything settled down, I saw what I have done clearly. It devastated me and broke my heart. The size of failure, the pain and the regret it caused me to feel, the anxiety, it was indescribable. But I kept going and move on. So I signed up for another company, not here at Free Forex Education, another company. I resigned from my job to only focus on my trading, determined to rebuild myself. I wrote a complete plan. I back-tested 850 trades, went back to the market, and the same thing happened. I lost almost 22,000 in 2 months. Thankfully, my stock investment was doing well at the time. Again, I went down the dark psychological spiral, not eating well, not sleeping. If I'm alone for minutes, tears start to come out. The regret, even my health deteriorated. I could have stopped trading at any moment and saved myself a lot of money and years. I thought that this was the ultimate failure and that I will never be able to recover and not able to provide for my family. It broke my heart. I never knew before what a broken heart is or how it feels. I reached a level that I was afraid and scared of sitting down behind my office. I start to sweat and my heart starts pumping super fast just by only sitting behind the monitor. He goes ahead and shows a picture of his loss in his stocks. In the end, the reason I'm sharing this with you, I think there are many reasons. First, I feel much better now. I have hope again. I'm smiling again. And I want to thank you for sharing and caring for other traders. Also, I don't want you to think that I don't want to learn and trade by myself and only trade the signals you send out. But I've come to the conclusion that it's me, the reason for my failure, and I have a lot to learn about myself. I have to educate and understand myself to finally break out of this pattern of always destroying myself and have the life that I dream of for me and my family. Okay, very, very touching story. And I've actually spoken to this person, but I will say that story, unfortunately, is not uncommon. It is, in fact, it is far too common. I have the same story. A lot of you know when I started trading, I lost £300,000. I was as low as it could get. I was the same as this person. I sat at the computer day in, day out, relentlessly stressed, losing money, sabotaging, doubling down, moving positions, doing everything I shouldn't, and it was a negative spiral and I just couldn't get out of it. And after a long period of time, I knew the problem. After I sat down with pen and paper and I reevaluated everything, the strategy was good, the risk to reward was good, everything was good with the trading. The only thing I'd left out was the psychology, and it's the psychology that is the secret formula to success, because without it you will destroy yourself. You will take a trade you shouldn't. You will have negative thoughts and emotions about that trade, and it will be a spiral. And everyone has done it. Everybody who has been trading for more than a few weeks has done it. You get greedy, you think you've won on a trade, you're going to double down on it, you're going to earn even more, you're going to make $1 million within the first couple of weeks. It will destroy you, and it's that spiral. And there's only really one way to get out of that, and in my opinion, it's to be part of a community where we share our experiences. We can be in a similar trade or in the same trade together. We can look at the entry reasons, our stops, our targets, and we can share the burden. Now, obviously, we have a lot of very profitable strategies here at Free Forex Education, and seeing winning trades and seeing the return on investment grow also helps. But not just that, it also gives ideas to people who are maybe struggling. So for instance, very basic strategy, trend continuation. Some people may be struggling on that, and it could be their emotions, which is what the chat and what the webinars and what the educational videos are for. But it may be as well that they're trading a strategy that is only just barely profitable. And when they look at our strategies and say, wow, I never thought of introducing the RSI into a double bottom when we have a major level of structure at a psychological number at a 618 fib. Maybe if I introduce one of those filters, that will change my mediocre strategy to a very profitable strategy. And as that person starts to see that strategy win more and have a lower risk to reward, or a better risk to reward, and they start seeing their return on investment grow, well, what's that going to do for their psychology? It's going to give them empowerment, strength. They're going to feel confident. They're going to be less likely to sabotage. So there is a wealth of not just knowledge, but being part of a community, I believe is absolutely crucial. It was a major turning point in my trading career. It is the reason why free Forex education was created, not just for everybody else's mental health, but for mine as well, because I am a very emotional person, and I lost a lot of money because of my emotions, and that changed when I knew the problem was emotions. It wasn't risk to reward, it was not the strategy, it was my emotions that led to me sabotaging the trade, and you will be doing the same, I have absolutely no doubt. So after that long rant, to summarize, I'm actually quite happy the way the week has turned out. We only had a 42% winning week. We finished -1%, -1 pip, so we finished break even. But after the 4 weeks we've had, we don't just win week after week after week. The key is to win, to keep our profits and to keep our losses low. And this week we had a break even week, and next week could be another 200 pip winning week. So guys, I wish you all a great weekend. We've had a great time within the chat. Phase 3 is still being implemented, as mentioned to you guys that are already registered, and I look forward to speaking to you all and being in some of those winning trades next week, and fingers crossed next week we can turn that week into a winning week. Have a great weekend.